Hello and welcome to Spectrum TV News at 2. I am Francis Oyima, Edit, coming to you live from the capital city. It says Tinubu will reveal ministerial nominees when ready. King Charles to help tackle unemployment in Nigeria. Plus, Ukraine President Zelensky meets Turkey's Erdogan to push Ukraine NATO goals. We will bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. We begin the news this afternoon with a report that the presidency has said President Tinubu will reveal his ministerial nominees when ready. The President's Special Advisor, Special Duties, Communications and Strategy, Dele Alake, revealed these while briefing newsmen at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Alake, while responding to a question on the speculated list out in the media, said Tinubu would make the list of nominees known when he is good and ready. And while the presidential aide said Tinubu was still within the 60-day window for the president and all governors to announce their ministers and commissioners, representatives to confirm the newly appointed service chiefs. The Speaker of the House, Abbas Tajuddin, at plenary read the president's letter seeking the confirmation of the appointments of the heads of security agencies. Recall that on June 19, Tinubu removed all service chiefs in Nigeria and appointed new ones whom he directed to resume with immediate effect. In the meantime, President in Nigeria, he made the promise during the grand finale of the celebration of the 160th establishment of the Nigerian Army in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Tinubu, who was represented by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, disclosed that the presidency was aware of issues of inadequate equipment and insufficient funding, among other factors affecting the operational efficiency of the armed forces. The president urged the Nigerian Army to always be guided by international best practices, especially extend humanitarian laws and rules of engagement while conducting operations.
For all Nigerian Army personnel to remain resolute and be reminded that their sacrifices shall never be in vain, while conducting operations. My administration sincerely appreciates recent efforts by other stakeholders. We are conscious of the security concerns of the citizenry. As such,
from the Red Chambers, the Senate has said it will investigate a gas processing deal involving the Ministry of Finance. According to the sponsor of the motion, Senator Ania Kanbasi, the gas supply agreement is disadvantageous for Nigeria, but the process of getting the country out of the agreement further plunged the nation into another problem. The upper chamber urged the federal government to ensure due diligence in the preparation and execution of transaction agreements with investors to avoid the scenario the government is facing under the gas supply agreement with Gas and several other entities. Meanwhile, the Senate has raised concerns over the alleged continuous loss of lives and property occasioned by gullies and flood waters. It urged the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA to urgently implement a community resettlement plan to relocate residents from high-risk areas. The resolution followed a motion sponsored by Senator Osita Izunaso from Imo State West. Izunaso noted that gullies and flood waters have become treacherous, leading to the loss of human lives and property worth over 4 billion naira and inflicted severe injuries.
Borrow my own. Thank you, Mr. President. I remain Piggy Barinada, representing the good people of Rivers Southeast Senatorial District. I want to thank my very good brother from the South for this very enabling infrastructural motion. Mr. President, is very straightforward. We know what we are passing through within the South-South, especially the road you mentioned in Cross River. Mr. President, the motion is out and it's on time, and I will urge all distinguished senators in the chamber here to support this motion and let the actualization of this road be done. Thank you, Mr. President.
I am Mohammed Danjuma Goje, representing Gombe Central. I stand to fully support this motion. But in supporting this motion, I have one or two comments to make. One,
emergency repairs of the totally failed and impassable portions of the Calabar Urban Akan Road. Those who are in support of this prayer say aye. Those against the prayer say nay. The ayes have it.
Away from that, the Prince's Trust International, a non-profit organization established by King Charles III of England, has been launched in Nigeria to address the urgent issue of youth unemployment on a global scale. The launch, which took place in Lagos, was attended by high-profile functionaries, including the Deputy British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Ben Llewellyn-Jones. Speaking at the event, Llewellyn-Jones said the launch in Nigeria would bridge the existing skills gap, giving more young people access to quality training that would make them more employable. Mbaki Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino yesterday visited the State People's Democratic Party (PDP) Secretariat at Atana Uyo to appreciate the party on which platform he emerged governor of the state. The governor was accompanied by his wife, Pastor Patience Moino, Secretary to the State Government Prince Obangowa, amongst others. A correspondent who was there completes the report.
Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino has formally appreciated the People's Democratic Party (PDP) for their support, which culminated to his success in the 2023 general election. Speaking during a thank you visit to the party held at the party's state secretariat in Atana Uyo, the governor, who noted that the thank you is not enough to express his gratitude for their efforts during the electioneering period, therefore assured that his appreciation will be evident in his leadership style. He pledged to run an all-inclusive government and ensure that more life-touching projects are initiated and completed in the state.
We thank all of you. We thank you for the privilege you have given to us this afternoon. We needed to come. It is only an ungrateful person that will not know. We've all got what already. So we came here this afternoon to this party secretariat to say to the PDP in Akwa Ibom, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Then across the state, another party come on here. Please, we want development for our state. Anyone that God will use to bring us development, we will clap for the person. We will work with the person. So please, we will not segregate, but that does not mean that we are still together. Let us work together and let us support the government at the state and the government at the national.
While stating that he will continue to support the party and remain faithful to the ideals of the party, the governor used the occasion to formally appreciate his political father and the immediate past governor of the state, Udem Emmanuel, for his support and belief in him. He promised to ensure that the party remains intact and does not disintegrate. The governor, who also used the occasion to urge appointees of government to make their impacts felt in their various communities, also announced that appointments of personal assistants will come from ward recommendations of the federal government to enable him attract more projects to Akwa Ibom. Earlier in his welcome address, the state chairman of the party, Elder Kanapan, had commended the governor for his outstanding performance in his first few months in office, stressing that the party was proud of him. He assured the governor that the party will continue to give him the needed support for him to succeed. In Uyo, Jane Uwa, Spectrum Television News.
Meanwhile, the Akwa Ibom State Governor, Pastor Moino, yesterday granted audience to Senator Itanang who led the governing council of the recently approved Federal College of Education (EDDEB) in Ibionibom local government area on a courtesy visit at Government House, London, brings the details.
Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino has expressed the readiness of his administration to collaborate with any indigene of the state who is in a position to draw development projects that will create jobs and boost the economy of the state. The governor stated this while playing host to a delegation of the governing council and members of the host community of the newly established Federal College of Education, EDDEB, in Ibionibom local government area of the state, led by the former senior special assistant to the immediate past president on Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Taina, during a courtesy visit on him at Government House, Uyo. Governor said politics should not be all about partisanship, but should be people-oriented and void of bitterness, while gearing towards engendering socio-economic advantage. This, he maintained, will know no party, but will be of enormous benefits to Akwa Ibom people in terms of education, job creation, and other economic advantages given the value chain it comes with. He thanked the delegation for the visit as he received the documents of approval of the institution and requests for collaborations for possible expansion.
It's development for our people and education that our sons and daughters, wherever God has placed them, should let's work in sync to ensure that our people have the dividend of democracy. This is not about party, it's about us working together, state and federal. And we're not too many.
In Obonwa, to liaise with the State Surveyor General to aid its expansion. Speaking further, the governor expressed concern over the Calabar-Itu Road and sought insight into the issues impeding the completion of the project to allow the state government to decide. The president on Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Taina, had congratulated Pastor Moino on his swearing in as governor of the state and thanked him for receiving them, and also commended the governor for the respect of paying a visit to President Bola Tinubu to discuss the Akwa Ibom issues and for the reception of Senate President Senator Godswill Akpabio, promising to reciprocate this by looping Akwa Ibom to the central government for the good of the state. And I'm assured that the federal government is ready to kickstart the school in September to accommodate succeeding green issues affecting the completion of some parts of the road project.
Again, let me appreciate you that less than 14 days after your inauguration, you deemed it appropriate and you did it by coming to pay a courtesy visit to His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and discuss the problems of the state and extended felicitations. I appreciate that, we appreciate that, and we assure you that on our part, we shall reciprocate. Your Excellency, I'm here to formally inform you that the federal government has approved, has established Federal College of Education in Ibiono in Akwa Ibom State to take off from the facility of the existing Presbyterian Senior Science School, IDDEB, in Ibionibom.
In Uyo, Jane Uwa, Spectrum Television.
We move to Africa, where the toll from a toxic gas leak linked to illegal mining has reportedly risen to 17, including 3 children. According to officials, in addition to the 17 deaths, 10 people were hospitalized, including a 2-month-old baby, 2 4-year-old children, and a 9-year-old child. Reports say authorities believe the toxic nitrate gas came from canisters kept in shacks within the settlement and used by illegal gold miners to separate gold from rock and dirt. Recall that the deaths. Still in Africa, the Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi has said he's planning to sign a security agreement with South Africa as militias continue to occupy stretches of turbulent eastern Congo. Tshisekedi announced this in a news conference with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa in the capital Kinshasa. He explained that the accord could take the form of a mutual defense pact and highlighted the Mutual Defense Pact of the Southern African Development Community (SADC) as a potential model. Today, on the latest leg of a tour to push Ukraine's bid to join the North Atlantic Treaty Organization NATO as Russia's invasion, with Zelensky admitting Ukraine's counter-offensive was progressing slowly. Still on the foreign scene, Iraq has opened an investigation into the suspected kidnapping of an Israeli-Russian academic after her disappearance in Baghdad. Reporter Elizabeth Sukov, a doctoral student at Princeton University and fellow at the New Lines Institute for Strategy and Policy, has been missing in Iraq for more than 3 months. Meanwhile, the office of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has accused Iraq's in her disappearance. Kataib Hamzabullah is allegedly part of the Hash al-Shabi force, former paramilitaries that were integrated into Iraqi security forces in recent years. Misappropriation of funds. To stay with us. As we move on to the rest of the news stories. On the business news, the World Bank has provided $1 billion to strengthen resilience and improve the livelihood of the people in the countries affected by the insurgency in Lake Chad. The bank's country manager for Chad, Races Paksiv, made this known during the 4th Lake Chad Governors Forum meeting in N'Djamena, Chad. Reports say the forum occurs amid shifting conflict partners and emerging challenges that have resulted in widespread displacement, damage to the social fabric, interrupted Nigeria. It said that the funds, which were dispersed among the crisis-affected countries, have helped in revitalizing economic development, creating jobs, and improving the lives of people who had suffered the brunt of the crisis. Senegal would be constructing another international gas pipeline worth about $8 billion. Speaking during a panel session at the 8th Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries International Seminar in Vienna, Austria, Gary stated that the proposed $8 billion pipeline would go through Niger Republic to Algeria and then to Europe. Reports say NNPCL and its partners are currently working on the construction of the $25 billion Niger-Morocco gas pipeline that is to supply gas from Nigeria to about 11 African countries and transport same from Morocco to Europe. In health, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention (NCDC) has recorded 798 diphtheria cases in 8 states across 33 local government areas in the country. The NCDC disclosed these in a press statement signed by its Director General, Dr. Ifedayo Adetifa, following the first reported confirmed case of diphtheria in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. According to the center, the death toll has also risen to 80, with a case fatality ratio of 10% as of June 30, 2020 management system to coordinate outbreak response activities. To reconsider their stance on the ongoing strike to save the lives of patients in various hospitals across the state. The Deputy Governor of the state told that the state NMA Chairman, Dr. Peter Atta, at a press briefing in Lafia, the state capital, on Wednesday, had announced that the association will embark on a 5-day warning strike. The association had earlier issued a 21-day strike ultimatum to the state government to meet its demands. Ofedram has launched another scathing attack on the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF. The coach said that every country in October was given $960,000 from FIFA to prepare for the World Cup. Recall that Waldrum and the Nigeria Football Federation have been at loggerheads in recent weeks over different issues, ranging from the team list for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup preparations and non-paying Sao Tome and Principe in the first round of the qualifiers for the 2023 Africa Women's Cup of Nations next month. Reports say if the Super Falcons scale through the hurdle, they will face Cape Verde and Liberia in the second round, as the winners will seal a place in Morocco 2024. Recall that the Super Falcons finished fourth at the last edition of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON, also hosted by Morocco. On our entertainment news, Nigerian singer and songwriter Bella Shrambi, which means "do not disturb," perfectly encapsulates his mindset for 2023. Reports say Bella Shrambi aims to create a unique musical experience with a new project following the release of his debut album, Hypertension, which reportedly amassed over 250 million global streams. Still on has released a sophomore album titled Bioba, meaning like a king. Reports say the album Bioba, which comes 2 years after the release of his debut album, Shall We Begin, serves as a declaration of Laken's self-belief in his potential. According to reports, the 12-track project is an intimate Oladipo. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You've been watching Spectrum TV News at 2. I am Francis Oyima, edit. Many thanks for being